Have you ever looked at the person sitting across from you? Maybe during an argument? Maybe just in a quiet moment where you feel that familiar pit in your stomach and realized I have been here before? I don't mean with this specific person. I mean you've been in this exact emotional dynamic before. Different face, different name, maybe a different city, but the feeling is terrifyingly identical. It's that sinking realization that even though you promised yourself the last time was the last time, you have somehow accidentally walked into the exact same trap again. It feels like a curse, doesn't it? It's like you're just unlucky in love, or maybe you're broken, or maybe all the good ones really are taken. But what if I told you that bad luck has nothing to do with it? What if the reason you keep repeating the same mistakes in relationships is unpeaked because you are failing to find the right person, but because you are subconsciously succeeding at finding the wrong one? It's a hard pill to swallow, I know. I've choked on it myself. But the patterns we repeat are actually maps to the parts of us that still need healing. Today, we aren't just going to talk about red flags in other people. We're going to look at the compass inside you that keeps steering you toward them. We're going to figure out why your brain thinks chaos feels like home, and exactly what you need to do to finally break the cycle. To understand why we do this, we have to look at the most counterintuitive thing about the human brain. Your brain does not prioritize your happiness. It prioritizes your survival and your familiarity. We gravitate toward what we know, even if what we know hurts us. If you grew up in a home where love was unpredictable, where you had to earn affection, or where things were volatile, your nervous system learned that that is what love feels like. Peace, stability, and kindness. To a brain wired for chaos, those things don't feel like love. They feel suspicious, feel boring, feel wrong. So, when you meet someone who is consistent, available, and kind, you might go on a few dates and say, there just wasn't a spark. But often, what we call the spark, that electric, anxious excitement, is actually just your trauma recognizing a familiar dysfunction. You aren't falling in love. You are falling into a pattern. It's like wearing a pair of old shoes that give you blisters. You know they hurt, you know they're bad for your feet. You keep putting them on because you know exactly where they will pinch. There is a strange, twisted safety in knowing exactly how someone is going to disappoint you. The unknown, even if it's better, is scary. We choose the familiar hell over the unfamiliar heaven every single time until we wake up. Think about the last 3 people you dated.
On the surface, they might look totally different.
One was a musician, one was an accountant, one was an extrovert, one was shy. But strip away the surface level details and look at how they made you feel. Did you have to chase all of them? Did they all make you feel unsure of your standing? Did you have to perform or be perfect to keep them around? If the feeling is the same, the person is the same. You're just casting different actors to play the same role in a script that was written years ago, likely before you even knew what a relationship was. This brings us to the second major reason we stay stuck on this hamster wheel. We fall in love with potential, not reality. This is especially true for those of us who identify as empathetic or nurturing. You meet someone who is a bit broken, emotionally unavailable, or struggling, and your brain lights up. It's not because you want to be treated poorly, but because you subconsciously believe that if you can fix them, if you can love them enough to heal their wounds, then you will finally prove that you are worthy of love. It becomes a project. You aren't building a partnership. You're running a rehabilitation center. The psychology here is deep. Usually this comes from a childhood wound where you felt unseen or where you had to take care of a parent's emotions. You learn that your value comes from what you can do for others, not just who you are. So when you meet someone who is whole, stable, and doesn't need saving, you feel useless, don't know how to exist in a relationship where you aren't the fixer. You might even feel bored because there's no crisis to manage. You interpret that lack of crisis as a lack of chemistry. But here is the brutal truth. You cannot love someone into their potential. You cannot love someone into treating you well. When you try to do that, you are essentially bargaining. You're saying, I will give you everything, and in exchange you will change into the person I need you to be. That trade never works, and every time it fails, you internalize it. You think if I was just prettier or smarter or more patient, they would have changed? No, they wouldn't have. You are repeating this mistake because you are trying to rewrite your past through your present partners. You're trying to get a different ending to an old story, but you're using the same characters. Let's talk about the boredom factor, because this causes so much self-sabotage. When you decide to break the pattern and date someone who is actually good for you, someone kind, consistent, and communicative, it is going to feel weird. It might even feel flat. Your nervous system, which is used to the roller coaster of highs and lows, is going to look at this peaceful lake and say, "There's nothing happening here." You will mistake the absence of anxiety for the absence of love. This is the danger zone. This is the moment where most people bail and run back to the toxic ex or find a new version of them. You have to intellectually understand that healthy love is calm. It's not a constant adrenaline rush. It's not wondering where they are or if they're mad at you. It's safety. And safety, to a person who isn't used to it, feels incredibly uncomfortable at first. You have to sit with that boredom. You have to let it exist. You have to retrain your brain to realize that a racing heart isn't always passion. Sometimes it's a panic attack. You have to redefine what chemistry means. We've been sold a Hollywood version of love that is all about obsession, grand gestures, and dramatic fights in the rain. That's not love. That's a movie. Real love is a Tuesday night, making dinner, feeling completely at ease in silence. If you keep chasing the high, you will keep crashing. Breaking the pattern means being willing to let go of the rush in exchange for the peace. It takes time to detox from the drama. Give yourself that time. So how do we actually stop this? How do we rewrite the script? It starts with radical honesty and a pen and paper. I want you to do something tonight. Make a list of your significant ex-partners. Next to each name, write down the top 3 traits that attracted you to them initially and the top 3 traits that caused the relationship to fail. Look for the overlap. You will likely see a stunning pattern. Maybe they were all charming, but inconsistent. Maybe they were all intense, but jealous. Once you see the data, you can't unsee it. That awareness is your weapon. The next step is the pause. The next time you meet someone and you feel that immediate, overwhelming, magnetic pull, that feeling of, "Oh my God, I've known you forever," I want you to hit the brakes. That instant intensity is often a red flag wrapped in a bow. It's your trauma recognizing their trauma. Instead of diving in, step back. Get to know them slowly. Watch their actions, not their potential. Do they do what they say they will do? Do they respect your boundaries? If you feel anxious around them, don't label it as excitement. Label it as information. And finally, you have to work on the relationship you have with yourself. I know, it sounds like a cliche, but you attract what you are, not what you want. If you treat yourself poorly, if you abandon your own needs to please others, you will attract people who treat you the same way. Start setting small boundaries. Start saying no when you want to say no. Start validating your own feelings so you don't need a partner to do it for you. When you fill your own cup, you stop looking for others to pour into you, and you start looking for someone to simply share the table with. Breaking a pattern that has defined your love life for years isn't easy. It's actually one of the hardest things you will ever do. It requires you to walk away from what feels good in the moment to build what will feel right for a lifetime. There will be nights where you feel lonely. There will be times you miss the chaos because the chaos made you feel alive. But trust me, the peace on the other side is worth every second of the struggle. You are not broken. You are not destined to be unhappy. You're just a person who learned how to survive, and now it is time to learn how to live. You have the power to put the pen down and write a new chapter. It doesn't happen overnight, but it starts with one decision. The decision to choose your own well-being over the comfort of a familiar pain. If this video resonated with you, if you felt like I was reading a page from your diary, do me a favor. Hit the like button so this message can reach other people who are stuck in the same loop. And in the comments, I want you to write one thing you're going to look for in your next relationship. One green flag you are going to prioritize. Let's manifest some healthy love down there. You've got this. I'll see you in the next one.